problem with the idea being kind of debunked. I'm just thinking, you know, for example, if you're a really canny car maker, why not do something with the seats on one of the passenger seats, for example, whereby the bit that you're sitting on has stored in it a retractable portable charging device, for example. There must be a way to make it happen. There must be a way to find the space, and if it's a little bit of extra weight, I reckon most drivers out there would sacrifice a half second of acceleration for the ability to plug in a portable extra 100 miles.
Not convinced.
Wow, what do you think, Rebecca Jones? You're being strangely silent.
I think that you have a point.
Are you on Matt's side or my side?
It's not about taking sides, really, is it? I don't know.
I am probably going to be a bit sit on the fence with this one. Only because I can see it from both sides. I understand the range anxiety, but I think that won't be a huge issue for much longer anyway.
Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying, if we can get portable devices, you know, when mobile phones first came out, the idea of a portable device that you could just fit in your pocket was that'll never happen. Well, surely they can make something powerful enough to charge up a car.
And I have no friends, so I've never got any other humans in my car, so like that's a lot of weight saved.
I think the best way forward is probably, you know, range extender cars that have a very small light petrol engine. But when the battery when the battery runs out, you know, they can switch this engine. Like the BMW i3 comes out and get with a range extender engine.
Matt, you can't bring ideas to the table that have already been invented.
You just said that. Tell you what, Matt, I was about to say to you that you've been invited to be one of the judges on Dragon's Den, but the way you've treated me, frankly, I can't give you that. I can't give you that recommendation.
He was already angry with me because I made him a rubbish cup of tea. Apparently that means I don't care.
Matt, we've got 1 minute to wrap up these last two stories, so let's do them in super speed, okay? So, Paris is going to be nasty to British drivers. How?
Yeah, it's not nothing personal against British drivers quite at the moment, but they are bringing in a new scheme, new anti-pollution scheme, where if you're going to drive into the centre of Paris, you have to buy a little sticker and put it in your windscreen saying, this car adheres to the latest kind of emission standards. The sticker costs £3.50, the fine could be anywhere between £60 and £100. The problem is there's a bit of confusion over the topic because the website where the sticker comes from is only in French at the moment, so they're concerned that... Yeah.
Would you like to know the French for bagpipes? No.
Might kind of miss the need to have this, but all the sort of the motoring organisations are saying, hey, everyone needs to kind of sort something. It's very similar to when they brought in the law that said you had to have breathalyzers in your car and all this kind of thing. So it's well worth it. If you're going to go to Paris any time from April when this scheme comes in, it's worth knowing about it.
Matt, here's something else worth knowing. Marta is going to give you the French word for bagpipes.
Cornemuse.
There you go.
Say it again. Cornemuse.
And in Spanish?
Gaita.
There you go.
She's a genius.
Yes, she is. She is.
Who knew this show could be educational and entertaining?
Marta did. Marta knew all along. She's just been hiding it and saving it.
That's why we keep her quiet, because she shows us up.
And the very last one for you, Matt, before we let you go, is that white happens to be the most popular car choice. What?
Yes, white is the new black, and black is the new white, and everything. So white is always very popular in cars. It is the most popular car on new cars last year. It's actually fallen. It's fallen slightly, whereas demand for black cars has increased by 20% over the last year. New car buyers traditionally play it safe because obviously the colour of your car can affect the resale value. Further down the line, people don't want to buy things that are in garish colours, so everyone usually goes fairly conservative. But one of the colours on the right is pink, so good luck to you, Andy, with your next car purchase.
It's good to know that we have, a bunch of people out there.
I guess these new car sales include taxis and vans and stuff like that for work purposes, so white makes sense.
True. Well done, Rebecca Jones. You were
not just Marta. Marta's not the only smart one around here.
I'm looking forward to more of the same over the next 3 hours. I don't know whether you're top now, because that was good.
Peaked too soon.
Matt, ever joyful to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, guys.
Go out there and you have a lovely weekend. Or just listen to the rest of the show and enjoy yourself.
Indeed.
Take care, buddy. Speak to you soon. Now, when we come back, I've done something slightly out of the ordinary for the motor show. Instead of driving a car that cost £1, 2, 3, 400,000 pounds, I've gone for one that cost around about £8 grand.
Talk radio. Dial some dial.
Talk radio. We'll get you talking.
Most people own a car and then apply for finance. But research from Volvo visited car
comes first. As well as no arrangement fees, he can buy from any deal he likes. So congratulations, Richard. You're good to go. Get your finances and then you're good to go. Apply now at carfinance247.co.uk. Rate through 5.4% APR. Broker regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Represented 27.7% APR. All circumstances considered.
Direct Line guarantees to be any public liability insurance quote for the same cover. Can your insurance do that? Search Direct Line Public Liability Insurance. New customers only. Qualifying criteria apply. Underwritten by UK Insurance Limited.
David, hot or not chicken curry?
My wife Maria loves hot spicy food. I found this out on our first date. She said, really fancy your curry? Well, I was keen to impress, so I said, great, that's my favourite too. But it isn't. Never has been. We've been married 15 years and I still haven't let on. Don't know why, but whenever I cook a favourite, chicken Gujarati, extra spicy with green beans and fresh ginger, I do what any self-respecting chef would do. I cheat. I put a king-size spoonful of natural yoghurt in mine, and I keep stum.
Find David's chicken curry recipe, hot or not, in store and online. Food Love Stories, brought to you by Dashcam.
You can always tell a driver of a mini hatch John Cooper Works Sport Pack, featuring a split level spoiler and 17-inch black alloy wheels. They're the ones feeling better about the daily commute, Sunday drivers, and a search for a parking space. All for just £249 a month and a £249 initial rent. Book a test drive now. Mini. Who's in? Visit mini.co.uk/sportpack. £249 initial rent. 48-month hire agreement for Mini Financial Services subject to status and availability. UK only. Guarantees may be required. Available for new vehicles ordered by the 31st of March and registered by the 30th of June 2017. Participating retailers only. Mileage and other conditions apply when you return the vehicle. Talk Radio, traffic and travel.
Lancashire M6 side junctions 35 to 34 with slow traffic. In Manchester M60 clockwise junctions 13 to 15, inside lanes blocked due to an accident. M60 anti-clockwise junctions 12 to 11, very slow traffic through the reverse congestion back towards the M61 junction 2. And in Worcestershire the A38 at Droitwich Spa just around Foley Lane, partially blocked due to an accident. Sherborne Road in the Oval in Somerset, queuing traffic for directions and roadworks. Constable.
The festive season is all about giving. That's why Seat's beautifully created winter drive gives you even. Until January the 23rd, a voucher code will be waiting for you at seat.co.uk. Download it to get an extra £1,000 off on top of all our existing offers across the Seat range, including What Car's 2017 Best Small SUV, the Seat Ateca. Now that's a real gift. New car sales only. Cars must be ordered by 23rd of January 2017. T's and C's apply. Visit seat.co.uk to find out more.
Prepare to retune your radio to a frequency which exists only in the wildest extremes of your imagination. The Unexplained with Howard Hughes on Talk Radio. Among the things we're going to be talking about on The Unexplained tonight at 10 p.m. with me, Howard Hughes, Uri Geller has been in the news this week. I'll be asking him why. He's on the show direct from his home in Israel. The life and times of the astronaut Gene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon who died this week, and the ongoing mystery of Flight MH370. Plus there's more. The Unexplained with Howard Hughes. Tonight from 10, Earth Time, on Talk Radio.
The Motor Show with Andy J on Talk Radio.
Hiya, welcome back to the Motor Show here on Talk Radio. Now, I was going to let the Rebecca Jones start this part of the chat, but she has a mouthful of claggy chocolate. So she's struggling a little bit. She just stared at me and pointed at her mouth, and there were, you know, like a cow when it's grazing. It was just that big chocolate clag. Anyway, it's time for a Dream Drives. We haven't done a Dream Drives for a while.
I'm a little bit
on the
annoyed
show.
at you at this one.
Why?
Because, like, we try and make out like we've got like all these big fancy cars. You go out and in, are you go?
Hang on, no, we don't make out.
No, we do go out. But it's like, look, we've got access to the best cars in the world.
Yeah, we do. Typically, we drive aspirational cars, right? Typically, we have had some stunning supercars on the show. So I thought it's time to balance that out a little bit. You know?
Alright.
All right, look, it'll be a one-off, but I've done it now, so let's just see how it goes.
Okay.
Here we go. I am now in a car. Anyone that listens to the show regularly will know that we do Dream Drives always with a bit of a difference. By the way, I have put the microphone onto the steering wheel, so you might hear some kind of strange acoustics and things, but hopefully it'll be fun. Right, here's what I'm driving. Usually on Dream Drives, we drive exactly what you expect us to drive in a dream drive. If you listened, or if you're a regular listener to the show, or you listened at all last year, you would have heard us out in McLarens, Bentleys, Aston Martins, Porsches, BMWs, Jaguars. Wow, this has got a real bite point. I'm looking at cars, in the last few dream drives, I reckon the average price of a car was probably comfortably in excess of £100,000. You know, we had Range Rover SVRs, we had the DB11, we had the supercharged McLaren, we had some beautiful motors. One of the common themes that ran in amongst the dream drives is that they were all very high price point. That's why this is such a change for us. I am now in a car that is valued well. You can get the models of this car starting at about £8,000, rising to about, I think, 16,000 super spec with absolutely everything. The car I'm currently driving is about 12 grand. I would say it's just over £12,000. I had a look at the spec sheet before I took it out. So, if you're wondering why I'm driving this and what I'm doing in it, I just thought I'd try something out, try something a bit more affordable, obviously, and just to see what it was all about, because this is a car that made quite a lot of headlines in 2016, and I thought, well, let's give it a whirl. I'm currently in the new Toyota Aygo. That's kind of Geordie for let's go. Aygo, you know what I mean? Or, well, I don't know, I mentioned the name of it to my 3-year-old son, and he thought that was kind of fun. He thought it was quite cool. Anyway, I'm in the little Toyota Aygo, which is basically a tiny little city car. It's kind of in the same sort of, if you don't know what I'm driving, if you're not familiar with the range, it's in the same sort of fleet bracket, I would suggest, as maybe a Fiat 500, going round a roundabout, so it might have funny audio again. Wow, yeah, the gears are all over the place in this car, goodness me. I'll get onto that in a second. Yeah, a Fiat 500, or maybe a VW Up, something like that. You know, these are very small. They're supposedly sort of seat 4 passengers, but you know, you look in the back, there's only obviously 3 doors, 2 doors and a boot. A tiny, tiny little boot. You know, you're lucky to get a week's worth of food shopping in the boot. In fact, having looked in this boot, I would say you could probably get a week's worth of food shopping in the boot if you were shopping for one. If you're shopping for any more than one, no, it's not fitting in this boot. I don't think so anyway. But I eat a fair amount of food, so that would be that. Anyway, this car, it's kind of cute, I'm not going to lie. I quite like the look of it. I've got it in a sort of quite cool electric blue, which is divisive. I'm a fan. I think it's kind of nice. It's certainly very standout. It's got a sort of X on the bonnet. It sort of looks like a glorified Xbox, actually. And I believe the designer was a massive fan of certain cartoon superheroes when he was younger, so he wanted something that would immediately stand out, and that's kind of what he's gone for with this. And it's a very recognisable car. I've seen lots of these cars on the streets in much drabber colours. You know, I've seen them in blacks and greys, and they're less striking. Obviously, in this kind of electric blue, it's got a feel of the BMW i8 blue, if you know what that is. It sort of feels a bit like that, so it's a high-end colour for a lower priced car, shall we say. Now, how does it feel? Well, it's kind of what you'd expect, to be quite frank. I know that's no great revelationary surprise, but you're looking at a 1-litre 3-cylinder engine, so, you know, 0 to 60 in about 25 minutes. And I think, to be honest, 0 to 60, it's about 15 seconds, maybe, something like that. It might go a little bit faster if you can work through the gears quickly enough. The gears are a little bit clunky. This is a great sort of first car feel to it. You know, it feels reliable. It's got a nice, it sits nicely on the road. Frankly, it's a very small car. I'm a tall guy. I'm sort of 6'1", and you know, not light. So I've had to get the seat right the way back as far as it can go. I feel that my head could touch the roof at any point. I am having to crouch slightly in the car, so it's not the ideal sort of driving position for comfort for me. I wouldn't want to be doing any long distances in this, but for the purpose of this test, and like I say, city cars aren't typically used for long distances. They're nipping in and around. Tell you what, in terms of parking, this thing, it's not very big at all, so that's a joy. I'm used to parking very sizable cars, and I must say, this really surprised me about this car, and this is fitted as standard, even in the entry-level model. It's got a rear view camera, so you can reverse with a very handy camera. that looks high tech. It's good quality. So your infotainment system, let's touch on that. It's a decent touch screen. It's got a decent size, probably what looks like about an 8-inch screen. It's got plenty of radio choices, which is of course all you need. It can connect to your phone. You know, for the price, you're getting a fair amount of additionals, as well as a very economical, I would say, probably reasonably cheap to run car. I doubt, because it's a Toyota, you know, that it's going to be very reliable. In terms of the drive, it's not going to set your world on fire. It's not going to be pulling up any trees in terms of the joysticks, but it's quite fun. It's kind of small, it's cute, it's manoeuvrable, it handles very nicely for everything that you'd expect. My question would be, if you were going to spend, this exact model I'm driving right now is £12,000 version. If you're going to spend £12,000 on a brand new small city car, would your money be better put in something that's perhaps a bit more luxurious with a bit more performance, but in the second-hand market? I mean, for 12 grand, you've got a world of options, but if you look at this sort of body shape and body size, if you were prepared to go just a little bit bigger, you know, there are some glorious low-mileage Golfs on the market, for example. You could get a very nice VW Polo. There are, I could cite all kinds of cars. You could get a Civic Type R if you wanted to have something really fun. There are lots of motors, of course, alternatives that you could have. Why would you spend £12,000 on this? Well, I suppose you'd spend £12,000 on this if you were driving around the city all the time, if you wanted something that was very reliable. Another thing I noticed about this, that if you buy it, it comes with a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty, which is very impressive. I suppose that's testament to how Toyota are convinced this is a car that can run and run and run and run, which always gives you confidence when you're parting with your cash. And it's the kind of thing that if you were buying for your children as a first drive, just past your test, you know, for kids it might be a little bit limiting. They're not going to fit many of their friends in, they're not going to fit much stuff in, they're not going to want to do huge, great motorway journeys on it, but, you know, it passed all of the safety tests with flying colours, as you can imagine. And like I say, it's got plenty going for it. So I'm sort of looking for negatives, because obviously for the dream drive feature that we have on this show, I'm used to very high performance, very luxurious, very, very expensive cars, and it's clearly nowhere near that sort of league. It's just not. But the price reflects that. I wanted to take this out for curiosity, and I have been pleasantly surprised, honestly. And this is not a snobby thing to say, because, you know, we've all had times where we've spent various amounts on our cars, ranging from lots of money to not much at all, and I've gone through plenty of low price cars in my time as a driver, and I honestly thought that this wouldn't be much fun. I sort of looked at it and I thought, I'm not going to enjoy driving this at all. It's going to be a bit of a slog. And yeah, the gears, they're not my favourite, for sure. I'm enjoying the manual nature of the car. I'm obviously a big fan of manual cars, but these gears are, sometimes you're wrestling a little bit. They like to over-rev a touch, but, you know, this is what you expect. It's not going to be a perfect driving machine, but it's got something about it. It's cute, it's fun. I personally like the look of it. Provided that you like the look of it, that's a big tick for a car like this. It's not the most comfy thing in the world, but for the money, I can see why you'd invest. I personally, as you probably already imagined, would lean towards the second-hand market and get something a bit more fun and a bit more dynamic. But as a first car, if my son wasn't 3, if he was 17, and I had 12 grand to spend, and I wanted something super reliable, cheap to run, very low to insure, and incidentally, if you get it before April, I think this year, then it's also free to tax because of the emissions, etc. So, yeah, I can see why you do it. Decent car, not faulting it. Clearly there are limitations to it. We knew that before I even started the engine up. What has surprised me is it's more fun than I anticipated. So, no great revelation, but glad to have given it a whirl.
Delaney, live at Drive on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking. It's an A to Z of original afternoon entertainment with the most well-connected man in radio. Big opinions, massive guests, all the top stories, original afternoon entertainment with me, Sam Delaney. Delaney, live at Drive. I'll give you Delaney!
Tomorrow afternoon from 4.
On Talk Radio, we'll get you talking. The Motor Show with Andy
talk radio. The radio still isn't talking to me because of the IGO drive. It's a bit awkward given that we're doing a talk show. Radio. Do you
I
reckon?
wish it would have just been on for that.
I think we've got to try these other cars out from time to
Oh,
time.
I'm glad it was you, not me. Imagine if I'd done that.
It would have been extremely rude. We can guarantee that. I'm just putting no dice for you.
No, I'm never rude about anything.
Right.
Always positive.
Except when there's a which is just something you take down every time.
No, don't say that. It makes me sound like I'm really negative.
Do you know one of these days, Nissan are going to send a leaf to the studios to give you it for a weekend, and you're going to be like, you're going to be converted.
I'll be getting on the train.
Should we introduce our next guest?
Yes, we should.
Yeah, I'm very excited because they're sat here kind of looking at you going, wow, who's this woman that doesn't like nice electric cars? Wow. Although I have been slightly harsh, I inadvertently offered up some delicious tasty treats. I think that's the fairest way to say it without giving any brands away. And one of you has a very fun pass through now. I don't know what you're both doing. We have Lewis and the comedians. Double X, is that the fairest way to say it? Do you like, is the comedians a nice term, or is that frustrating?
Female comedians.
There was a while, wasn't there, where you were supposed to call actresses actors, but I never quite understood when you had to start calling them actresses again and all that.
We get like comedians because I always think like manageress. Is that a thing anymore?
Oh yeah, that's a fair comment.
I don't mind. I like actress.
You're an actress.
Because I don't mind. I just like to be acting. I just like to be recognised as a woman. Yeah. Because sometimes people get confused. So it's a compliment really.
Well, listen, I'm absolutely thrilled that you're here. We're going to have a bit of a challenge for you a little bit later on as well. You are going for filling up the month.
I'm so hungry. Thanks for feeding me. I'm bored. January. The first meal I've had in days.
First up, let's talk about your show. Because the reason why I want to talk about this right now is because I'm going to try and bag a seat. I've watched you online and I think it was very, very funny.
Yeah, I know. I don't things online that...
Well, you do, which is why I
drive off floor.
Yeah, no, I've had to clear the browsing history. It's okay. It's okay, worry. No, so we can see you because you're coming to the Soho Theatre.
Yes. That's what I need to start doing now. I open Valentine's Day, so the next month this year. Yeah, I know.
Right, so having watched sort of a few of your videos that are available, I wouldn't necessarily say you would build up to a night of romance.
Sexy.
Absolutely.
Sexy
Not suggesting that you're not, but you know, just if a guy was say taking a girl on a first date, that might be a challenge.
Yeah, we get Tinder dates. That happened the other night. We did a gig and the man was on first date and I got him on stage and molested him. And he left immediately afterwards. We said no words. He left genuinely traumatised.
Did the lady that he was bringing stay?
Yeah, she
complained that she wasn't brought up on stage.
Yeah, no, they both left.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, sorry, they could have both left in a hurry because she could have loved what she'd seen.
Maybe they were so turned on.
You need to follow this up.
Yeah.
Do you have any contact details for this man? Can we find him on
We've got
Tinder?
quite a few numbers though, haven't you? Yeah. When you do drag men on stage. Yeah.
Is that
It's not family friendly. Yeah, oh yeah.
right? Okay. Oh, so it is a properly saucy show.
Moments of sauce. Like
Is it primarily with language use? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Heavy use of expletives.
Yeah.
As lots of good late night comedy shows.
Yeah.
I say late night. What time is the show?
It's at 9:15, I think, 9 o'clock. When we did it in Edinburgh, it was at 10:45 every night. So we weren't going to bed till like 6 o'clock. It's 9.
6 in the morning. How long was the show?
9:15, I can't think.
Hang on. It was 11 o'clock at Edinburgh. You weren't going to bed till 6.
Yeah, let's find
It was
out.
not a 7-hour show.
It was
That
a
would have been.
7-hour piece of performance art, but no jokes. Just 2 hours. People that did it comedy, and then it was just a feminist lament, really angry, just shouting, doing weird things with meat.
You were just bribing them with nectar points. Please stay. There'll be a joke at some point.
Yeah, 5 hours in.
How would you describe your comedy? Because it's better to hear if you describe it.
Well, it's sketch, character, and musical comedy. We have a live pianist. Casey has a lovely singing voice. Yeah, he has a growl. She does a shriek. Yeah. It does get mentions and reviews. Positively.
The growl. I mean, as a car show, we should probably bring it back to cars very briefly. Does it growl like a good exhaust?
Yeah, actually.
I'm just ticking the car brief there. Just in case people are listening expecting just car chat, I like to feel that every now and again we bring it back to cars. In fact, just for the sake of making sure we're back on brand for a moment, first cars?
Well, mine was called the Tangerine Dream, and it was a 1981 Ford Fiesta with 4 gears.
I had a Ford Fiesta as my first car. Mine was Wedgwood Blue. Wedgwood Blue. I thought that made it ever so posh.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
Doesn't it sound like, you know, something your nan would have?
What was the name of those paper plates? Are they willow pattern plates? Is that what they were
They're
called?
Wedgwood.
Not paper. Were they Wedgwood?
You like the blue
things with
plates
yeah.
with the white kind of...
Do you know, I mean, that's suddenly got really dull. I'm so sorry. Let's start
I
talking
don't know anything
about
about
plates.
cars, really.
Right.
I don't drive, you know.
You don't drive?
I don't even have a provisional, and I'm 30 in about 2 weeks.
Are you?
Yes.
Goodness me.
Is that a surprise?
Yeah, I didn't think of this.
40.
But you're down in your late 60s.
I've always found the effort of getting, like, filling the provisional license form, getting a photo and getting someone to sign it, it's too much effort, so I've never got one.
Oh. Wow. I mean, that's...
Pathetic.
You're a slow starter in life.
Yeah, I can agree with you on this. I'm horrendous at admin. Anything that involves a form, I'll just not do it. I just sacrifice massive parts of my life left to fill form.
Could you borrow each other's licenses and things because you have the same
You've got my
birthday?
license, haven't you? Have you actually got it on you? We've got the same birthday, we get told. I will give it back to you.
Okay.
That we look like sisters. We get that a lot. Yeah, it's really
Okay.
good.
Is it exactly the same birthday? Same date, same year?
26th of February. Yeah. And I'm older.
Do you get on?
On stage, we'll make the pay to get on.
How do you know that you're going to be a double act? Like you're both doing your stand, you're both doing acting, and then you meet someone, and you're like, oh,
I know, we met at drama school in Manchester in 2009, and then we found out that we shared a birthday, we had to organise a party together.
Yeah. Who was more excited about that? Who was like, great, I'm going to get to do a party with someone else for once?
I've always been more keen on you than me.
Did you know that when you were there?
And since then it's just dwindled even. And I love her dad though, her dad is great. They get on too well.
Oh. I mean, like how well did they?
Well, I don't know, it's weird because I think Katie's the daughter he wishes for dad. But also there's like a free song. And I gave him a Christmas card. And I didn't.
You didn't give your dad a Christmas card?
No, I'm really bad at, like, again, admin. I'd call that admin.
I'm with you, I did the Christmas card.
Christmas cards are admin. Visual license. Yeah, terrible.
So do you do all the writing?
No. We write together, perform together, but just don't socialise. Sorry, I've got Malvern Sweet.
You do, yeah.
No, we do socialise. We went to Thailand together.
Okay, I know. Right, so the big surprise, which is no huge surprise because I told you what film we're going to do, is that after this, we're going to send one of you out in Rebecca's fancy borrowed Porsche. Okay, Rebecca has borrowed a Porsche for the weekend, and she's going to take one of you out for a dream drive. So before you put that in your mouth, I would like you to both, because we've got to find a fair way of working out who should go on the Porsche.
Happy thoughts.
Yes, I would like you both to take 2 of those sweets.
It was a food eating challenge.
It is a food eating challenge. It is a food eating challenge. And I'm going to count to 3. And on 3...
No joke.
Well, then don't do it. Then you sacrifice. Whoever has an empty mouth first gets to go in the Porsche. Does that sound fair?
That sounds fair, but also really brutal.
What do you think, Bex? Is that fair enough?
This is what I live for.
You don't have to do this.
Okay, yes.
I just want to make this clear. I am not putting you any pressure to do it at all. But if you so wish. Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, up for it? Alright, ready? So when I go 3, then you got to go for it.
Okay.
Alright? 1, 2, 3. Rebecca, you can do the narrating.
Oh, right, we're going for 2 slightly different techniques there.
Wow, I mean, you're both doing a very good job. We have 2 very full cheeks. They're looking at each other as if just checking on each other's progress.
I'd go for the swallow now.
Okay, Bex, steady on. You've both got very full mouths still. You're just trying to slow them down, aren't you?
No, I reckon they can do it.
Okay, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Oh, look at that! That was so close.
That was so quick.
It's gone to you basically played a blinder there.
I'm going to be sick.
Well, now you can be sick in a Porsche.
I know, but have you seen how big my mouth is? Never gonna look like that. That's impressive.
Wow.
That's really impressive.
Well, so anyone that hasn't worked it out, Katie
do you
was
want
in
to
the
go in the
victor.
bush? Because I'll give you the
No,
opportunity
it's more
if you
the
want.
shame of losing the food challenge.
Oh, okay.
Right, so here's what we're going to do. Katie, you're going to go in the Porsche with Rebecca. And
great.
what we're going to do is we're going to call you, which means Sinead, you're staying with me. And we're going to have to... Well, we're basically going to be a bit jealous that they're in the Porsche.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Do I put lipstick on? Yes, I only allow people in my Porsche with lipstick on.
I've got a face and sort yourself
fake
out.
nails, but I just feel like to be in a Porsche in London, I need to not be wearing dungarees right now.
Also, one of your straps on your dungarees
It's
is
twisted.
Yeah.
I dressed for the radio today and it's just backfired.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, you'll still be on the radio in the Porsche. You won't, you know.
People will see that people have black clothes.
Yes, that's true. I mean.
I'll lower your seat really low, just the top of your head.
Yeah. I should definitely go in the Porsche next
Okay,
year.
right. Okay, well, let's find out if Katie's naked in the Porsche after the break. You've got about 2.5 minutes to run down to the Porsche. When we come back, it'll be the Porsche drive.
Okay.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
We are Talk.
Talk Radio. Give it some lift.
At Jet2.com, we offer you great flight times, a generous 22 kilograms baggage allowance, no credit card fees, and prices as low as £42. No wonder we've been ranked the UK's top airline on TripAdvisor, and we're the UK's only airline awarded Which Recommended Provider. And new from this spring, you can go direct from London Stansted and Birmingham. Jet2.com. Friendly low fares. Price per person one way, including taxes. Charges may apply, subject to availability and normal conditions. There's a person who can spot threats in the sky before they become threats. They can reassemble a pistol in 15 seconds and maintain equipment so advanced most don't even know it exists. That person's you. There are more than 50 roles to choose from in the RAF. You'll receive world-class training to develop new and existing skills, and you can do it full-time as a regular or in your spare time as a reservist. Find your role in the RAF. Search RAF recruitment now.
Get ready for 7 days of fabulous in the sun. That's 7 days of fashion, 7 days of fitness tips, 7 days of celebrity interviews and real-life stories. Pick up the sun for your fix of fabulous every Monday to Saturday and your glossy fabulous mag on Sunday. Don't miss it. Every day in the sun.
The all-new Jaguar F-Pace is the ultimate practical SUV. It's actually a performance car. It has 5 spacious seats and 650 litres of boot space. 0 to 60 in just 5.1 seconds. And it can achieve up to 57.7 miles per gallon. Race-inspired driving dynamics. It's a car for the whole family. Yeah, tell them that. All-new F-Pace, Jaguar's first SUV. Experience performance from every perspective. Search F-Pace. Jaguar, the art of performance. 0 to 60 applicable to 380 PS engine. MPG applies to 2-litre diesel rear-wheel drive manual in test conditions for comparative purposes only. Real-world figures may differ. Talk Radio, traffic and travel.
Lancashire M6 side junctions 35 to 34 with slow traffic. In Manchester M60 clockwise junctions 13 to 15, then side lanes blocked due to an accident. M60 anti-clockwise junctions 12 to 11, very slow traffic through the roadworks, congestion back towards the M61 junction 2. And in Worcestershire, the A38 at Droitwich Spa, just around Pulley Lane, partially blocked due to an accident. Sherborne Road in Yeovil in Somerset, queuing traffic both directions in roadworks. I'm Stuart Ward.
The festive season is all about giving. That's why Seat's beautifully creative winter drive gives you even more. Until January the 23rd, a voucher code will be waiting for you at seat.co.uk. Download it to get an extra £1,000 off on top of all our existing offers across the Seat range, including Whatcar's 2017 Best Small SUV, the Seat Ertiga. Now that's a real gift. New car sales only. Cars must be ordered by 23rd of January 2017. T's and C's apply. Visit seat.co.uk to find out more.
The Teflon Maiden of mid-morning radio is here.
Mid-mornings with me, Julia Hartley-Brewer. Hard-hitting debate, strong opinions, and essential listening. Julia Hartley-Brewer. You turn if you want to. The ladies are not for turning off.
Julia Hartley-Brewer.
Tomorrow morning from 10.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
The Motor Show with Andy J on Talk Radio.
Hello, welcome back to the Motor Show here on Talk Radio. I have Sinead Parker here with me. She is the losing member of the double act Norris and Parker, for the simple reason that Katie Norris, the winning member of the double act, is currently in a Porsche with Rebecca Jones. You seem really upset.
I'm genuinely upset that I lost the only thing I'm good at, like the eating competition.
I mean,
so my only skill.
What I will share with the listeners is in the adverts you made up for that by eating everything else.
Yeah.
So there's literally nothing better to come back to.
Yeah,
so
it's true. So I've got my revenge.
Technically you're winning a Porsche. Yeah. Should we check in with the ladies in the car? Rebecca, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, there they are.
Hello.
Are you?
To the where?
The Women's March. Brilliant.
The funniest thing happened, Andy, we walked out of the studio and there's a little yellow Citroen DS3 parked outside, and Katie went, is this the Porsche?
Wow. Wow. So her car knowledge is expert.
It is, yeah. But I'm having the best time. I applied lipstick and lovely fur coat. And I'm wearing a fur coat. Yeah, Porsche protocol.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Okay, right, let's get the basics out of the way first. Rebecca, what is it that you're driving?
I am in a Porsche Cayenne GTS, so normally I'd be in my Porsche, but it's having a service at Malvern Wells, so they've kindly lent me this lovely car. It's 4x4. It's the slightly sportier version of the standard Cayenne, not quite as powerful as the turbo, which is probably good because it's petrol and I don't earn a huge amount of money. So,
Okay.
already all the buttons have been pressed. Katie's literally pressing every button.
Amazing, right. Katie, tell us what you're doing. Tell us about your experience.
I'm just saving everyone. I'm got staff. I'm in a Porsche.
Okay.
I'm just
So,
the exhaust. I'm pressing the exhaust button now to make it really loud.
I'd quite like to hear
Can you
that.
hear it?
Go on, give it some oomph.
No, it's quite loud. No, we've just got to a traffic light, sorry.
Yeah, this is the challenge.
Wait a minute.
Are you going to join the women's march? Because I think the Porsche is a very fabulous car.
Nothing says feminism like a Porsche.
Driving around in a Porsche and a fur coat with lipstick, definitely.
Yeah, I think they wouldn't be allowed on. The ladies would be like, well, you qualify on one level, on the other one, take the ground. You're not wearing anything else, so just lipstick.
Good, definitely, yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay, I'm sorry. Pressing all the buttons. I'm now looking at the phone in the car. Okay.
She is like a 5-year-old.
I mean,
She's got ADHD.
Rebecca doesn't get angry very often. She's
She's an incredibly annoying person. Yeah.
Okay, now I pressed the button and now we're in comfort mode.
Comfort mode, and what has that done to the feel of the car?
Well, it's done something to me, I'll tell you that.
Do you feel a lot more comfortable, Katie?
I do, yeah.
Katie, is this your first time in a Porsche?
Yes.
First class.
Yes, it is.
And what's your overall experience so far? What have you been most intrigued by?
I've been most intrigued by the loud exhaust and the mirror with the lights around it, so I can find my lipstick with precision. And the aircon is exceptional. The seats, the interior, where it makes me feel as a woman.
Wow.
Make you feel sexy.
There's that
You
growl.
sound sexier.
Does she?
Yeah.
I feel empowered.
Do you think there's scope for the pair of you to do a sketch in a Porsche? Do you think you could work a Porsche into your comedy?
If someone wants to let us have the use of a Porsche, we could definitely write something good.
Could you get it onto the stage at the Soho Theatre?
Yeah,
Is that
definitely.
possible?
The whole set could be a Porsche.
Could it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would we get that? Do you think we could borrow this Porsche?
I mean, all I know is that's definitely not what I'm going to do. So, merely busting a few ideas.
Yeah, no, definitely. We used to mime a car.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used to open the door the wrong way because that's my knowledge of a car.
The left-handed car thing.
So, yeah, I think a Porsche would be an upgrade, definitely.
Okay, all right. Let's do this, Katie. If Sinead was in the car now instead of you, what would she be loving about it? And also, what would she be unimpressed with?
Well, she'd probably be unimpressed that there's no food in here.
There's no food in here anymore either.
No.
Yeah, it's all gone.
But I think that she would be shouting out the windows like I am as well.
Yeah. I'm impressed when anyone drives. I'm genuinely impressed to be in a car and someone is driving.
Well, you haven't seen Rebecca's
I
driving.
think everyone's an amazing driver. So I'll probably think Rebecca's a fantastic driver.
You should be a part-time parking assistant.
I could be.
Because you could just admire everyone's parking.
Yeah. Give everyone compliments. You're doing a really good job.
I don't have to book you, but
yeah.
well done
Good
there.
job on that. Yeah.
Mounted the kid up with some skill. Brilliant.
I don't know how to get back. Do you know what?
Rebecca, are you lost?
We're lost. Yeah. We couldn't find the women's march. I'm not going to say us. We've not seen any women marching. Although we haven't gone that far, so we're genuinely lost now. I think it's time we're in a Porsche. Oh, we could live in here. Yeah. Yeah, it's very roomy.
Well, it is, yeah, it's a 4x4. So, Bex, just to give us a little bit of an idea of what it's like to drive, how are you feeling? Is it nice?
Yeah, as you know, I'm not a massive 4x4 fan in general, so...
You get a bit nervy, don't you, on the hire cars?
No, I like a sporty car. However, this is pretty sporty as far as the 4x4 goes. It sounds amazing, you put your foot down, it's got some real power behind it. It's a definite, if you want something sporty but you need a 4x4, it's definite option for you.
Alright.
It doesn't feel big and cumbersome, it gets around the corners nicely, handles well.
Happy days.
You know how sometimes when you're in a Range Rover or something and you go around a corner and you feel a little bit like you're in a big boat and it might tip over? None of that with this.
Okay. Right, listen, Bex, we're going to have to go, so I've got to just say a very quick thank you very much to Norris and Parker, who you can see at the...
Soho Theatre
Yep.
at 9:15, starting on Valentine's Day night, running till Saturday, which I think is the 18th, 19th?
There you go, 14th to the 18th.
Yeah.
Smashing. Katie Norris and Sinead Parker, thank you so much for your company today. Brilliant, we got some news, then we're back with Quirky Drives.
Talk Radio.
We've got entertainment, and we're not afraid to use it. Talk Radio. Right, kids, we're going on holiday. We need to bring the bucket and spade, rubber rings, snorkels and goggles, bug nets, tennis rackets, burger buns, and your best dance moves. We're going to see some splashing dives into the pool, some smashing tennis aces, some fabulous shows, hopefully no burnt burgers, but more than likely, Grandad on the dance floor. Ready? We send millions of families on a whole lot of holes every year from £9.50. Collect 10 tokens inside the Sun on Sunday and join them. Continues this week. Ginny's Make It Better Jambalaya.
So, my son Ravi and his girlfriend have just split up, again. Apparently it's the worst thing to ever happen in the history of the world. That's young love, I suppose. It's just as well I have the cure for a broken heart. I make it in a big pan. Sausage jambalaya Cajun style. Pork sausages fried in olive oil with rice and plenty of seasoning. At least there's one in his life who'll never dump him.
Find Ginny's Make It Better Jambalaya recipe online or in store. Food Love Stories, brought to you by Tesco.
You can always tell a driver of a mini hatch with John Cooper Works Sport Pack, featuring a split-level spoiler and 17-inch black alloy wheels. They're the ones feeling better about the daily commute, Sunday drivers, and the search for a parking space. All for just £249 a month and a £249 initial rental. Book a test drive now. Mini, who's in? Visit mini.co.uk/sportpack. £249 initial rental. 48-month hire agreement from Mini Financial Services, subject to status and availability. UK only. Guarantees may be required. Available for new vehicles ordered by the 31st of March and registered by the 30th of June 2017. Participating retailers only. Mileage and other conditions apply when you return the vehicle.
Direct Line guaranteed to beat any public liability insurance quote for the same cover. Can your insurance do that? Search Direct Line Public Liability Insurance. New customers only. Qualifying criteria apply. Underwritten by UK Insurance Limited.
Talk Radio. Dial up some dialogue.
Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Get the hottest news, essential debate and entertaining opinion from the UK's biggest radio personalities. All day, every day on Talk Radio.
Every weekday morning from 6, join Paul Ross for the full set breakfast.
A supersized scoop of breaking news, a generous dollop of big-name guests, and of course, a well-seasoned host.
Then from 10, the lady who's not for turning on.
Join me, Julia Hartley-Brimmer, on the UK's premier forum of free speech for 3 hours of outspoken current affairs debate and fearless opinion.
From 1, get your afternoon's alternative edge with John Holmes. What colour would you paint a palette? I would paint it. It's one biggest piece of nonsense I've ever heard. 24/7 conversation across the nation on the UK's most entertaining speech station, Talk Radio. We'll get you talking. Did your husband accidentally transfer the contents of your joint account to a Nigerian prince called Trust Me Good Man? Perhaps you bought diet pills on the internet that made you frightened to cough. Or maybe your exotic mail-order bride turned out to be a Ukrainian pig farmer called Igor. When the con is on, you need a man who's on it. Listen to the Radio Hustle with scam-busting Supremo Alexis Conrad and get the inside track on all the latest swindles, schemes, tricks and traps the fraudsters are using to get their hands on your cash. Get tipped off, not ripped off. The Radio Hustle with Alexis Conrad, enemy of the conman. Saturday afternoon from 1 on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio. For those about to talk, we salute you. Talk Radio.
That's your first hour of the Motor Show done here on Talk Radio, but let me tell you, we have a massively filled second hour for you, starting with the legend that is Mr. Quirky Drives. John Quirk himself is here after the news. Then we're checking in with Mike Brewer, he of Wheeler Dealer fame, top man, and of course we have a special dream dinner dates with Alexis Conran. He won Celebrity MasterChef last year. I can't wait to see who he will be inviting round his table. 8 celebs coming up next. See you in a bit.
Talk Radio.
From the Sky News Centre at 3. Labour says Theresa May has questions to answer about what she knew of a failed Trident missile test last summer. It happened just weeks before the Prime Minister gave her full backing to the nuclear deterrent in a House of Commons debate. Tory MP Dr Julian Lewis chairs the Defence Select Committee in Parliament and says Trident has been tested more than 150 times.
On the overwhelming majority of the occasions, as far as one is led to believe, there have been perfectly successful tests, and there are mechanisms in place to deal with a missile if the test doesn't work, as happened on this occasion.
The new US president has accused the media of lying about the size of the crowd at his inauguration. Donald Trump's press secretary went even further, suggesting it was the biggest ever turnout for such a ceremony. Theresa May will meet President Trump in Washington on Friday, becoming the first foreign leader to do so since he took office on Friday. Southern Rail says it hopes to run a 70% service tomorrow despite a strike by conductors belonging to the RMT union. ASLEF has suspended industrial action and is to meet the company for talks. In sport, Arsenal are taking on Burnley in the Premier League. Live to Russell Hargreaves in North London.
Where the half-time whistle has just gone, Andy. It's Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. The Gunners hoping for a win to go back to second in the Premier League table. They've had 2 decent chances for both Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez, their star forwards. None of those converted, and the Clarets with a couple of half chances of their own for Ashley Barnes and Andre Gray. But deadlock in North London at half-time. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0.
Leaders Chelsea face Hull later, knowing they could be 9 points clear at the top if everything goes their way. Earlier, Southampton beat Leicester 3-0. In the Scottish Cup, Celtic are goalless against Albion Rovers. And it's not been a good day for British players at the Australian Open tennis, with world #1 Andy Murray and Dan Evans being knocked out. Murray fell to a shock defeat by Misha Zverev, while Evans' run in the tournament was ended by Joe Wilfred Songa a little earlier. That's the latest. I'm Andy Hayes.
Start your engines, petrol heads. This is the Motor Show. It's automotive for the people on your radio.
Sports cars, pickups, 4x4s, GTI or coupe. What convertible is best to buy for a bloke who wears a toupee?
He's the motor mouth with a V8 brain. His car know-how is stunning. Here comes revved up Andy J to get your motor running. The Motor Show with Andy J on Talk Radio.
Hey, welcome to the second hour of the Motor Show here on Talk Radio. I have the one, the only, the myth, the legend. In fact, I went back through my classical civilization Greek mythology books, and I found him carved in the archives of Archimedes' tomb. The one and only Quirky Drive!
Hey! Good afternoon, Mr. J.
All right, now listen, before we get into anything, JQ, I just want to prove to the world that we're live.
Okay.
You have reacted somewhat to the news that Jerry Horner has just had a baby.
I have. I just didn't recognise who it was, and I was like, she can only be ever called Jerry Halliwell, surely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep it real, Jerry.
Well, I mean, she has married now.
I know.
Chris
I know.
Of F1 fame.
Yeah.
And they've now had a little baby.
That's a beautiful thing.
Do you know what they've called it?
Spice.
John Quirk. John Quirk Halliwell Horner.
So if she kept her...
Unfortunately, it's a little girl, but I mean...
She'll be able to work with it, it's fine. I'm sure she'll go to school somewhere in the counties. They'll be all over it.
I had a Jerry Halliwell story, which was... I have. Would you like to hear it?
I do want to hear it.
All right, so very shortly after I passed my driving test, I mean, like literally about a week after I passed my driving test, I was in this random town, and I was at some traffic lights, and they were one of these traffic lights where there were 2 lanes. And I was in one lane waiting obviously at the front, and this massive great big SUV pulls up next to me, and I just kind of looked across, and Jerry Halliwell was driving it.
Whoa.
And I was like, and I must have did a genuine visual double take.
Yeah.
Right, because I was like 17 years old, whatever. I did a double take. This was the height of the Spice Girls fame, giving away my age. And I looked across, and she nodded, and to sort of confirm it was her. And I looked again, and she kind of gave me this really cheeky smile, kind of confirming, yes,
Just a cheeky little wink.
Yes, you've spotted me. Yes, I'm Jerry Halliwell. And I did this kind of, in my head, I was like, does she want me to follow her? Is there, I mean, is this like an invitation, or is she just going, yes, I'm who you think I am?
Was Jerry the one that you fancied out the 5?
Oh, do you know what, all of them.
Oh, come on, you have to pick one.
All of them.
No.
Why not?
Everyone had one.
No, all of them.
Even Sporty.
This is where you've got wrong.
Even in Kappa.
You have spent your life being too picky, right? All of them.
Okay.
Surely. Initially, for me, it was Bosch.
I was more of a Baby Spice fan.
No, you were Sporty Spice fan.
What, just because she's Scouse?
Yeah. No, Sporty's cool. I really like Sporty. And she can sing.
And she can act.
Can she?
Yeah.
Well, this took it.
That girl's got it all.
This took. Is there something you'd like to tell me? Sporty quirk.
Yeah, one day we should get her on the show.
Yeah, we should.
But it sounds like you're doing it.
Her brother is a good racer, actually.
Oh, really?
And she knows a lot about cars. She should definitely come on the show.
Rebecca will probably know.
There's a chance.
Spices, bro.
There's a chance. Yeah. Happy days.
There's always a chance.
Yeah. Listen, dude, you're going to stay with us for the second hour, which I think is amazing. But first up, you've got a passion. You want to talk about bikes.
Yeah, well, it's not been quirky drives this week. It's been quirky rides.
Oh, look, Rebecca's walking in the studio.
I thought she would have done a runner, being in a Porsche Cayenne diesel, just cruising around London, loving life, with a new comedian friend, Norris.
Yeah. But you didn't, did you?
Me and Nozza. There's these now.
Nozza?
Yeah.
Well, there's a slight change to the double act. What is it? Nozza and Jones?
Yeah. Sorry, Parks, you're out.
I don't know if that works, but Sinead and I have bonded, so, it's okay.
Alright, then we'll swap.
Yeah.
Well, you've eaten a lot of these bloody...
No, I haven't. Blooming, we apologise very briefly for the blood-based reference there.
I heard my name.
Did you?
Were you two talking about
Are you
me?
listening to the voices again?
You must have been talking about
That's what we're asking.
Well, I was in a Spice Girls tribute band.
Which one were you? No, hang on, wait, let's have a guess. Okay, so I reckon you were Mel B?
No.
Scary Spice?
No.
Were you...
She's looking sporty.
Were you Scary Spice?
No. Quirky's right.
You were Sporty Spice?
Sporty Spice.
I told you.
Hello to my other Spice Girls.
I like Sporty.
Yeah, and Jones is a great actor as well.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this took me.
What were you talking about?
Well, I told a story about when I saw Jerry Halliwell in the car. I was supposed to follow her on. And nobody's going to know whether I did or not. Dun dun dun. I didn't. It's worth. Although I did afterwards think, should I have done that?
And then we were going to talk about how the fact that I've been riding motorbikes as opposed to driving cars this week, just because London is chock-a-block.
Yeah,
it's really hard to get anywhere at the moment, because I think it's because it's so cold. Everyone's like stuck into their cars and just trying to drive to work.
Taxis as well. Everyone
and
gets a
Ubers
taxi,
everywhere.
rather than tube.
So you still be careful on your bike, please.
I will. I've got some really good
kit.
I've got some like proper Gore-Tex Rucker jackets going on now, so I'm toasty on that thing now.
Good. Yeah, no, that'll definitely protect you from, a steamroller. No problem.
I've got my eyes and my ears. Don't worry. I'm not one of those people that listens to music when I'm riding either.
So you've been on a Honda VFR 1200.
Yep.
Okay.
DCT.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the successor to the Super Blackbird, isn't it?
Oh no, Super Blackbird was like the super fast one. It looks quite similar. Yeah. This is the sort of successor to the VFR 800 or VFR 750 from the 80s.
Powered by a traverse-mounted V4 engine.
You are good, aren't you?
Just a question.
It's
just a question.
Yeah, it's not a question. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it develops 172 horsepower. Which
is enough on a bike in London, John.
It's more ample, should we say? But it's got this gearbox like a car gear. It's a DCT automatic, so you've got 2 clutches. So it basically allows you to shift seamlessly, so you can twist and go.
Well, like a sequential thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can ride it like a twist and go.
Like a mountain bike.
Yes.
Crikey.
Yeah.
That must be like really cool.
Like a Porsche with paddle shifters.
You just click, click, click.
Yeah, click, click, click.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. And there's no so there's no sort of clutch bar on your handlebar. It's just buttons. So you can either engage into a fully automatic mode and it'll change gears for you, or you can get into a bit of a PlayStation gamer attitude and start, flicking the buttons up and down. And it works very effectively. It's really, really clever. And like some purists are like going, oh, it takes the sort of passion out of riding, stuff like that. I just think it makes riding easier and it opens it up and makes it a bit more accessible for people that, I don't know, might find it a bit troublesome to change gears with a heavy clutch, and especially when you're in stop-start traffic, like in London all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was mega fun.
Sounds like you've enjoyed this bike.
Yeah, it's a cool bike. I'm just trying to look at different commuting solutions to get around London, you see, because at the start of the week I tried this Honda Forza 125, so it's just a little scooter. Yeah, it's got 4 horsepower. 14 horsepower, I'm sorry. 14 horsepower.
You'd be quicker off walking.
There are scooters available with 4 horsepower.
What is the point?
CC.
That isn't a scooter, that's a toy.
Yeah, no, well, you can still get your mobile. When you're 16 and you've got nothing but a bus pass, it's a great way to just,
waste money.
No, just be mobile.
Okay.
Have the freedom of the road.
Right.
So next time, I think we need to get Norris and Parker on the back of a bike next time and do a little.
They're both still here,
yeah.
and they're both giving thumbs up. I mean, the thing is, you'd have to choose Sinead to go on the back of the bike because she missed out on the Porsche experience. Would that be okay?
That'd be fine.
Yeah. Oh no. Nozza isn't liking that. No, she's like she wants to be on the back of the bike. So it seems harsh. And Marta feels utterly left out. She hasn't got to go in a Porsche or on a bike. So
well, Marta has to produce the show, so she can't go anywhere.
Wow.
Sorry,
Smack
Marta.
down there. Right. Just wow.
Oh no, I can see the headphones coming on. Here we go.
Watch out, everyone.
Turn the volume down, everyone at home. Crikey.
Crikey drives.
Behave.
Okay. But
as simple as that.
But there's a lot of car tech basically being sort of filtered down from Honda's cars back into the bikes. And the latest thing that they're developing now, I don't know if you saw at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in January.
Yeah.
They've just come up with this thing called a balance